Hello and welcome to the Scottish Building Society Scottish Women's Premier League. We're live today from Oriam, where Hearts face a Celtic side who are now unbeaten in their last 7 games following a midweek 0-0 draw with Glasgow City. So they drop into third in the table, just 1 point behind second place Rangers. Hearts meanwhile still sit bottom of the table with just 1 win so far this season, and their only other point coming in a 1-1 draw with Forfar Farmington last month. So it has been a tough season for them up in SWPL 1. Now at half-time we'll hear from Chelsea and Scotland forward Erin Cuthbert as she prepares to play in the Champions League final this evening against Barcelona. But let's get to today's match. I'll pass you over to our commentary team of Emma Black and Stuart Mitchell.
Thank you, Iona. It's a cracker in the capital this afternoon as Hearts get set to take on Celtic. 2 changes to the Hearts side that were defeated by Rangers in midweek. In come Georgia Hunter, the defender, and Amelie Burse in as well. She's featured in every game since the restart for Andy Kirk's side. Forsyth and McAllister are both on loan from Celtic, so can't play this afternoon against their parent club. And for Celtic, a big 7 changes for Fran Alonso's side from the team that drew with Glasgow City on Wednesday night. In comes Chloe Craig for her 200th Celtic appearance. Rachel Johnson gets the start in goal, only her 4th appearance for the 17-year-old. Jacinta and Sarah Ewens up front. Jacinta looking for her first Celtic goal. Sarah Ewens has 9 league goals this season. Joining me in commentary this afternoon is Emma Black. Emma, you've been busy taking in a lot of games recently as well. It's been a cracking week for SWPL football. Starting off with Hearts this afternoon, how do you think they're going to set up?
I think they'll be similar in how they set up against Glasgow City a few weeks ago. I think they'll set up with a 4-4-2 formation. I think they'll be compact, they'll play a low block, and they'll try and prevent the spaces for Celtic to play in.
Looking for goals, because obviously that will be a big thing if Hearts can get a few attacks and manage to get a goal in front. This afternoon they haven't been doing too well on the scoring record in the last 4 games. They haven't scored. I mean, looking at players like Leah Tweedy with a lot of experience for her young age, and also Kirsty McIntosh as well, who's scored Hearts' last goal in SWPL 1.
Yeah, of course, they will be looking for opportunities to break, maybe try and catch Celtic on the counter-attack, and they'll be also cautious. They won't want to lose many goals and concede many goals. They'll be obviously looking to build momentum for next season and start preparing for next season.
Is it a case of Andy Kirk will be looking at systems, personnel, looking towards next season, and today will play a big part in that, or is there something different there that might be in his mind?
No, I agree with you. I think they'll be looking towards next season and start preparing, looking to bring in potentially better players that have got more SWPL 1 experience. They have just been promoted. It's been an extremely tough season for them so far, not just with the pandemic, but with the quality of players they're up against each week.
And some experience that's been lost from the Hearts side this afternoon. Mario Caney, who's been a regular in midfield recently, has picked up an injury in the game against Rangers on Wednesday, so she is one of the players dropping out of that Hearts side, as we can see them just take their huddle and a few pre-match words before another difficult afternoon. Defeats against Rangers, Spartans, Hibs and Glasgow City recently for today's home side. And looking at Celtic, Fran Alonso's side looking to go 8 games undefeated. This last 7 games they haven't lost to another side, and a big game for them today. But again, that depth in squads towards the top of the table shown through with the amount of changes that Fran Alonso's made this afternoon, Emma.
Yeah, and I think it's important. They have to change their squad up, especially with midweek games now until the end of the season. It's extremely important to rest players, recover, and then if you're looking to challenge Glasgow City for a title, it's important to do that.
There's only 4 players that remain from that team that you watched on Wednesday night against Glasgow City over in East Kilbride. So are there any of those 4, or is there someone else that you might be looking to really grab a hold of the game for them today and look to get another win for Celtic?
I think Sarah Ewens will be extremely important for them. As you've mentioned, it's important for Celtic to score as many goals as possible, have a positive performance. I was extremely impressed with them on Wednesday night against Glasgow City. They had a game plan where it was to be physical, aggressive in their play, and they'd shown that, and they'd walked away with the point, and they were disappointed not to walk away with 3 points.
This afternoon's referee is Stuart Luke, who took charge of the game last week. That was on BBC Sport Scotland Online, the Celtic game against Motherwell. The Celtic look to continue their momentum in their huddle before things get underway. Fran Alonso has said ahead of the game that he's only concentrating on the 3 points. There's been a lot of talk in goals when the top 3 sides go to play on Sunday or Wednesdays, but Fran Alonso has the points in mind first this afternoon. Hearts will be looking to put in another impressive performance. They actually did quite well on Wednesday against Rangers. Do not let the scoreline throw you off. I mean, Charlotte Parker-Smith, we spoke a couple of times about Hearts and goalkeepers, because obviously the last time we would hear Emma Ely-Tebbett was injured, Charlotte Parker-Smith had to come in. Both of them had a good performance with some strong saves in that Glasgow City game. Charlotte Parker-Smith had a big game on Wednesday, and she may need another one this afternoon.
Yeah, I think she will. I was extremely impressed with her in the previous games. Parker-Smith, fantastic saves she had made, and she saved a penalty just a few weeks ago, so she'll be important for them today.
And Burst standing over the ball for Hearts as we just pause for the stand against racism. Hearts looking to get us underway, and we'll be hoping to keep early possession of that ball. We have seen Celtic's attacking threat in recent games. Fran Alonso's had a couple of different setups, but he'll be happy to get the ball his side at the moment. We'll have some early possession on the attack. Nicholson looking to spread the ball out wide, but an early flag from the assistant. And a couple of times we mentioned about the schedule as well, Emma. Obviously another midweek card, and there's going to be more of them in the run-up towards the last fixture at the beginning of June. And that's something that's going to work to Celtic's advantage surely this afternoon, you'd think.
Yes, I think so. We've got a tough game against Spartans on Wednesday coming up, and then the Old Firm next week. So it's important, as Fran mentioned, they just look at today's game and look to get the 3 points and then take the momentum into Wednesday's game. You can't look ahead, especially if you're looking to challenge Glasgow City and look to retain a Champions League spot. You can't look too far ahead. You've got to play the game that's in front of you, gain those 3 points, and then you focus on the next one.
McAllister winning a free kick early for Celtic as they look to build from the back through Kelly Clark, the captain. Jodie Bartle is putting the ball out right for Chloe Craig, as we mentioned in the lineups, making her 200th appearance for Celtic this afternoon. Big number and a big servant to Celtic as well, Emma.
Yeah, she is known, she's our vice captain. Chloe Craig's been at Celtic for a long time, and she's an important player on the pitch and also an important person in the changing room. She's very influential off the pitch also, and she was presented with a special shirt before the game had kicked off, so it's a big opportunity for her today as well to perform. She sets herself high standards.
Something that Fran Alonso's been a big motivator of the standards, and even at times when some people have looked towards Celtic and thought they might have been out of the title race, they've just quietly worked away in the background, and quietly working away over the halfway line at the moment through Jacinta. Nicholson, it's Robertson, back to Clark again. We have seen at times Hearts, when we've covered games at Oriam in recent weeks, that compact shape that they look to keep to frustrate teams as Craig comes forward, finds McAllister on the edge of the area, a low drive, taken comfortably by Parker-Smith.
Yeah, McAllister take up a great spot there behind the Hearts midfield, and good shot on goal, and that'll be positive for her back in the starting 11 today.
Charlotte Parker-Smith's 8-league start for Hearts in the 1-1 draw against Forfar Farmington recently. Back in starting due to the troubles Andy Kirk has with goalkeepers at the moment. McAllister there for Celtic, gives the ball away. McIntosh looking to start building for the home side. Some very strong running from Holly Aitchison, but ball given away to Craig. Robertson takes over, and Alonso in the background just applauds the press from the away side.
You can see how quickly Celtic are pressing to get the ball back as soon as they lose it.
Jacinta looking inside, Tweedy, the only player there to pick up the ball. There's Georgia Hunter. Ball forward doesn't cut out there, and he'll get all the way through. Bursts, cuts off the turner and then goes on the move. Back under pressure, does well to keep that one in, and there'll be a couple of teammates there to help out. Robertson turns, comes away with the ball. And Hearts with a lot of bodies in the Celtic half at the moment. Just a wall of maroon to try and prevent Celtic from coming through and try to change the angle of the attack. Rachel Johnson, the young goalkeeper, with an early touch now. Here's Jacinta for Celtic. Ewan's ahead, tries to get the ball over, flipping it around Delworth, but ball out for a throw-in. Just discussed the two shapes as well, Emma. Looking at Celtic, and obviously you weren't at the game, it was Pauline that was covering it with me last week against Motherwell, but Fran Alonso started with two wingers as kind of wing backs and went with a different shape and a different approach. Just looking today, it looks like Tegan Bowie sort of in the left side of the defence, maybe the other side Chloe Craig and Kelly Clark and Jodie Bartle playing in the middle of a kind of four, would you say?
Yeah, I agree. You know, Bowie will be looking to attack as much as possible. She's an attacking player. She's usually played higher up, however she has played fullback on occasion, so she'll be looking to support the play on every occasion. And I think Chloe Craig will be more cautious. She'll be, obviously she's more experienced, she'll recognise if Bowie's going forward, then she'll just tuck in and make it a back three.
There's Fran Alonso with the quality and depth at his disposal, clearly on show this afternoon. Smith will get things restarted with the goal kick. Just having a look at the heart shape just now as well. It looks like Amelie Burse is the one playing up top through the centre. Leah Tweedy sitting a little bit deeper. And with the amount of running that Amelie Burse can do, is something we've spoke about before when we've covered Hearts. It could be a strong weapon for Andy Kirk's side this afternoon. Nicholson picks up the loose ball in the middle. Ewan's thinking about the long ranger, maybe didn't quite catch that, and Charlotte Parker-Smith can take it into her chest.
Yeah, that's a comfortable save for Parker-Smith. You know, that'll give her confidence as the game goes on, you know, getting touches of the ball. You can see Hearts, they don't want to then pass it forward too quickly, they want to try and retain the ball.
Turner and Bowie battling for the high ball. Tweedy inside, McIntosh now. Hearts just looking to keep possession. Hunter looking for Jenny Smith. Trying to put Kelly Clark under pressure. She may have to use the goalkeeper. Not much space to turn. It's good harrying from Smith. Celtic will have the throw, but that's a positive sign for Hearts and something that they need to keep up for the 90 minutes.
Yeah, well, I know you'd have recognised the space. You know, Bowie's just stepped out and Hearts have played that ball in behind her, and Smith's made a fantastic run, and I think that's what Hearts will be looking to do today. As Bowie starts to attack, they'll be looking for that space in behind.
Atkinson for Celtic. Bartle. It's her 15th Celtic appearance today for Jodie Bartle. Atkinson looking long for Nicholson. Might get the touch down. Delworth has to play it back to Parker-Smith, and the goalkeeper did well just to first time hit that one away. Williamson does the same. Chloe Craig for Celtic. Robertson finds Bowie, number 24 on your screen. Jacinta here. Loves to cut inside on that right foot, Jacinta, with crosses and shots. Pass this time for Robertson. Celtic will just cool things down for the moment. Robertson takes it in. Looks to switch sides now. Clark. Long diagonal looking for Bowie. Just can't keep that one in play.
And as I've mentioned, you can see how high Bowie's pushing up on this left-hand side, trying to stretch Hearts' defence, and she's looking to create that space out wide to take a full back on 1v1 in situations. I think we will see that throughout the game.
There is Andy Kirk and his coaching staff will know how important it is just to try and frustrate Celtic. We did see Motherwell do that for a period last Sunday. It was Motherwell that actually had the first clear chance of the game, you could say, with Abby Skelton nearly putting Celtic on the back foot, but she couldn't get the touch. Sometimes it only takes that one opportunity. And Celtic will have a glorious opportunity here to deliver the ball into the area with the free kick. An early chance for Chloe Craig, Jodie Bartle, Kelly Clark to get up from defence as well, Emma, and pose a threat in this Hearts line.
Yeah, absolutely, and along with Kate Nicholson, you know, she's powerful in the air also. You'd seen with her defensive headers on 2 occasions already early on in the game, and this is a massive opportunity for Celtic to put the pressure on.
Robertson to deliver. Bartle was at the very right of your picture, just standing all alone, looking for a late run to the back post. Robertson sends that one in. Tweedy gets the touch. Nicholson, as Emma mentioned, plays the ball back to Bowie. Looking for Robertson. It's a couple of times we've seen that ball zipped out to this left side. Jacinta under pressure. Here Williamson asks for the throw in, and she will get it from the officials. Defended well by Hearts, that free kick.
Yeah, that was excellent, wasn't it? You could see how Celtic are set up. They were looking to go down the back post, and Lisa was just short in her free kick there, but it was excellent defending from Hearts.
McIntosh turns. Tweedy. Turner has a look up for that run that we spoke about earlier of Burse. Ball's been angled up towards Kelly Clark a few times in this first 10 minutes, and Rachel Johnson's kick will go over the top of Tegan Bowie, and that gives Hearts a glorious opportunity to pose a threat in this final third of Celtic's.
Yeah, and as I've mentioned, you know, they've recognised that space that Bowie's leaving. They're looking to play that ball in there and looking for a striker to spin in behind Kelly Clark, and it's been successful so far.
Pressure, and Celtic will concede another throw in. This will be a good opportunity if Claire Delworth can get this one in long towards Turner. Smith also making her way into the penalty area. Tweedy's just moving closer in a bit of space. Smith takes possession. McAllister gets the body in front. Can Delworth make something of this? Jacinta doing the defensive job. And the Celtic captain gives the ball back to Johnson, the goalkeeper. Looked very comfortable, Rachel Johnson, when she's been in goal for Celtic, but it'll be good for her to get a couple of early touches of the ball as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially having Kelly Clark playing in front of you with Bartlett, you know, that'll give her confidence as well, and they've got such a calming influence on the field, and you can just see there how comfortable they were at passing it out from the back.
Bartle looking for Kelly Clark. That gives the signal to Tegan Bowie to run forward. Jacinta drops into her position. Again, Celtic find it a little bit tricky to find a way through at the moment. Robertson. Atkinson takes it in. Nicholson trying the first pass return. Good play from Hearts, pick up the ball, try to go on a counter. Aitchison just has to turn back. Here she is again. Holly Aitchison on the ball. There's not many maroon jerseys in her surroundings there, but does well to get the ball back to McIntosh. Nice pass for Tweedy. Jacinta doing well to get back. Here's Hunter. Turner goes for the run. Early drive across, cut out by Clark. Celtic go on the move. Nicholson looking to release Sarah Ewens, but she was hoping him for the ball to feet rather than over the top of the defence there.
Yeah, I think that was excellent play there from Hearts, wasn't it? They managed to retain possession. They've made a few passes, and it was just a disappointing cross there from Katie Turner there in the end. But there, you know, you see Sarah Ewens on that occasion. She's looking to come to feet. She's shouting for it, and Kate Nicholson's just not had her head up early and recognised that.
Is there a little opportunity there for Hearts because they have quite a settled side from playing a number of games together, and the amount of changes that Celtic make? There's a couple of young players in there as well that might give Hearts a little bit of a chance to capitalise on. Yes,
I think so. I think it's important for Hearts to try and get a positive performance. As you said, they had a great performance against Rangers, and they are trying to keep the score lines down, and you can see with their shape today as well. They're playing a 4-4-2 formation, and they're looking to press Celtic here and put tackles in and put them under pressure. And my only worry is that how long can they go? It's such especially with midweek games coming up. Training's obviously tapered, so it'll be tough for them today.
Celtic keeping patient here. Atkinson. Craig goes on the run in front. Atkinson tries to clip the ball. Chloe Craig gets it. Aitchison will move forward now for Hearts. Tweedy to Smith. Turner in attack on this right side, but opts to keep possession, and Hunter's ball is going to go right towards this commentary booth and made me blink there. Jacinta. Bowie. Nicholson trying to charge through, stopped by Hunter. are looking comfortable in this first 14-15 minutes so far. Number 14, Holly Aitchison, trying to turn on Chloe Craig. Experienced defender, doesn't allow her to do so. Good work from both players on that side. It looks like it's going to be an interesting little battle there, because Chloe Craig likes to get forward and Holly Aitchison will want to capitalise on those opportunities to get in behind when she can. There's Jodie Bartle. Kelly Clark, over 185 appearances now for Celtic. Bartle moving forward. Long ball for Ewens. Can she bring that one down? She can. And the goal kick will go to Hearts. And that will give them a chance to settle down a little bit. Celtic not really able to create too much so far.
No, they haven't. I think there's no space for them to play in the final third here, because Hearts have got their two banks of four, and you can see Sarah Ewens, she will be looking to make that run often throughout the game down the side of the centre back, but there's just no space for her there, and the ball was just overhit and it runs out of play. And it's an opportunity then for Hearts, as you say, to try and retain the ball, ease the pressure off them.
Tweedy heading forward. Burst might be able to capitalise on this. Clark has to take it down. She's going back towards her own goal and needs Johnston to help her out. Delworth helps it over. Smith looking for the challenge. Bartle heads it away. Aitchison. Nobody there though. Robertson can get Celtic on the move once more. Chloe Craig. Still with it. Now Kate Nicholson. Clark. Bowie for Celtic. Jacinta can't grab a hold of that one. Hearts will have the throw-in. You've got to remember, Celtic also did have a very tiring, battling game against Glasgow City on Wednesday. One of the things that we spoke about ahead of this game, Emma, was the pressing that Celtic, the approach that they had against Glasgow City, and they had to keep alive the whole 90 minutes to try and nick a goal to try and get 3 points off the league leaders. So again, probably why Fran Alonso's made those changes. That maybe shows in a couple of players that are still remaining in the side this afternoon.
Yeah, I think so. Not just physically, but also mentally, playing with that intensity, especially against Glasgow City. And then you're then having, as I mentioned, you're then having to taper your training towards today's game, and change of personnel. As I've mentioned, there's been many changes to the Celtic starting 11, and it's difficult at times to maintain that momentum into today's game, and you've got so many changes.
Atkinson just trying to dart a ball through for Sarah Ewens, but it was a little bit heavy. First goal for Celtic against Forfar Farmington a couple of weeks ago. Lindsay Atkinson. She's also mentioned she had a little bit of an injury problem recently and felt a lot of relief from that goal in a more attacking position at Oriam than she was at home against Motherwell last Sunday. She's about to pick up the ball here once more. The wind has just started to pick up on the big open pitch in the capital. Hearts looking to move quickly now. Again, Burst trying to run in behind. Johnson comes out for that one. Hamley plays that one to Craig. Good commanding play from the goalkeeper, with two experienced defenders in front of her. McAllister now for Celtic. Good work from Hearts. Delworth goes for that diagonal. Johnson again has to be alert. She looks quite comfortable when the ball comes to her though.
Yeah, she did. That's the second occasion there in a short period of time. She did fantastic there. Extremely composed there, but you can see Hearts' intent. As soon as they're looking to get the ball in the middle of the park, they're looking for that diagonal.
It's a good ball for Turner. Nice bit of trickery to try and go beyond Tegan Bowie. And Bowie will have to concede the corner. And good work from Hearts. They've had a strong start here in the first 18 minutes, and they can get a hold of this corner and possibly put some threat on Rachel Johnston's goal. Nia Tweedy just asking Turner to wait a little bit to allow her to move in towards the penalty spot. Smith's on the goal line. Aitchison at the back post also. Defenders coming into the 6-yard area now. Johnson has to get rid of it. Smashed away from Atkinson, takes a deflection, back in from Delworth. Tweedy goes in for the challenge. Referee plays advantage on that one. Chloe Craig's taking a bit of a sore one, but Celtic will go quickly. Ewins looking for McAllister. She's on her own at the moment. Great touch to bring it down. Takes it around Williamson and Hunter across to divert the danger. Good spell from both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know, that was a chance for Hearts there. You know, Rachel just didn't quite get enough on it to clear it. Hearts putting on the pressure once again, but Rachel again calmly picks the ball up and plays a quick ball out for the counter attack, and Celtic are now attacking here in the final third.
Some referees may have blown for the foul there in the challenge between Tweedy and Chloe Craig. Referee Stuart Look was happy to allow Celtic to get going quickly. There's Jacinta looking for the ball in. Atkinson's there. Parker Smith also low, and she collects the ball. Andy Kirk will take a lot of spirit from the side start in his first 20 minutes so far. As he just discusses things with his assistant Aaron Hughes. Louise flick on is going to make its way through to Kelly Clark. Nicholson will sweep up. Bartle back into the defence from the start for the 0-0 with Glasgow City on Wednesday. Kelly Clark. Bowie tries to nip in front of Delworth. Again, Hart strong, headed away. Turner now. Burson Smith in front. Pass maybe a bit short. Nicholson putting Tweedy under pressure. Hearts still have it. Holly Aitchison looking for Burse. Just a step away from taking that one into feet. Tweedy in that deeper row as we mentioned earlier. Looking for Turner. Free kick goes Celtic's way. Atkinson just taking a moment. And that's possibly a sign of how things have been so far, because a couple of attacking players for Celtic having to come back and do that defensive work, which is, you know, showing a big sign of respect to Hearts so far. Yeah, credit to Hearts. I think Hearts has started the game extremely well, especially missing Caney in the middle of the park. They've pushed back, as you mentioned, pushed back Leah Tweedy into the middle of the park, just to give that bit of experience in there, and I think she started the game extremely well. Clark coming to step up there to prevent any dispossession from the home side. Tegan Bowie back to Izzy Atkinson, who's, as we mentioned, now taking up position in that left back area, which will allow Tegan Bowie to move forward. It appears Jacinta's switched over to this other right side, just coming into your picture top left now. Delworth cuts that one out. So a little bit of a reshuffle from Fran Alonso with 22 minutes gone in the first half here at Oriam. Tegan Bowie with the throw. She'll have another to take. Came off the bench last week against Motherwell. 11 Scotland under 17 caps for the 17-year-old. Looking to move up an international level. Tweedy goes down. Turner takes a bit of time. Delworth can swipe clear. Burson Clark battle it out. Tweedy gets the header on Nicholson. There was the option in Sarah Ewins. Screams of a foul throw, nothing given. Celtic continue. Robertson thinks about the long-range shots, curling away from goal. And that is a big sign of how difficult it is for Celtic so far in this first half. Midway through, restricted Robertson to that long-range effort. And Hearts holding strong. Yeah, they are, and as I mentioned at the beginning, you know, Hearts are playing with their two banks of four and they're closing down the space. There's no space for Celtic to play in. For me, you'd be looking for Celtic to try and retain the ball, you know, pass it, move it side to side, try and drag Hearts out of that low block, and it allows them opportunities to play and create spaces. It's the home side with possession. Williamson can't find a way forward, so we'll go back to try and keep a hold of the ball. McIntosh turns. Aitchison composed. Back to Cunningham. Of experience in young Murren Cunningham. Ball sent forward. Might Burst get there. Johnson has to clear that one first time. Tweedy now looks to restart. Atkinson working back, and the free kick will go to the hosts. Handball awarded against Celtic. And again, a nice position for Hearts to try and load that penalty area.
Yeah, that was great play. No, that was a fantastic ball there from Murren Cunningham. And we said that at the beginning, they've had that few occasions where they're looking to play that ball early in behind the Celtic backline, and it's been successful for them so far.
Celtic are about to hold an extremely high line here, not allowing Hearts any possibility of putting players in the penalty area. Hunter just making a little step out right. If they want to change the angle, it's clipped in. Tweedy's towards the back there, hands go up for offside, and the flag goes up on the near right side also from the assistant. And that looked like very experienced and controlled defending from Celtic.
Yeah, they looked confident there, didn't they, with the high line, and it was a difficult position for Hearts, as you mentioned. I think they should have changed the angle, especially with Celtic playing so high there. They're looking obviously to play the offside, and it worked on that occasion. Bartle looking for McAllister. Up steps Cunningham to head away. Burse holding it in. McIntosh, first time pass looking for Smith. Clark cuts it out. Robertson, Jacinta bursting forward. And those yellow boots of hers can't keep the ball under control. Maybe trying a little bit too much. That one's loose. Atkinson aware. Miscommunication there. Aitchison now for Hearts. Looking again to play in bursts. There's a danger there. You try that too many times that you might get caught out of shape. If Celtic able to pick the ball up, Hearts just need to put a little bit more on it. This one's through for Ewins, but the assistant has the flag raised. It's just threatening to step up in pace a little bit there with quick attacks. Sometimes the frustration can set in and you start to play the ball a little bit quicker to get through, because holding it and just staying patient, Emma, doesn't quite work. No, it doesn't, and as I've said, Hearts have been started the game extremely well. You know, they'll be pleased with how they've started the game, especially Andy Kirk. Again, they've got possession of the ball here. You can see from the last phase of play, they were looking to try and play that ball again in behind the Celtic defence, and unfortunately on that occasion it was just short. We just saw David Haley and Fran Alonso there. What do you think they'll be thinking at the moment? I think they'll be disappointed that they've not been able to retain possession of the ball, but as we said, it's credit to Hearts. I think Hearts have started the game fantastically well. Fran, I think, will be disappointed, especially going from Wednesday night's game where they didn't have a lot of possession. It was more of a battle, so today you're looking to try and retain the ball, create opportunities. Celtic without two big players in recent games on their side with Sarah Teagard and Mariah Lee. There's another big player in Robertson. Passes the ball off to Jacinta. She's done well to win it back there. Looking to play in Chloe Craig. There's numbers forward for Celtic here. Can Chloe Craig get the cross in? Cunningham to Nicholson. Shot blocked. An opportunity for Celtic now with the set piece to try and get everybody into that penalty area and try and get on the front foot from the corner. Yeah, that was good defending there from Murren Cunningham, wasn't it? Blocked the cross and then obviously reacted quicker and stopped the shot there. Kelly Clark at the back. Nicholson joins her along with Bartle. Robertson sends the ball in. It's towards Bartle. She's leaning back to head that, but she'll have the support in Kelly Clark, who can recover. Number of Hearts players out to meet the ball. Ewins turns, quality from there, but can't get the shot away. Aitchison clipped as she tried to swipe it away. Didn't go down low, so no foul in that one. It's a race between Jacinta and Smith. Jacinta goes down, and Celtic have the free kick again. Clark has room to come forward. Move towards the two lines of maroon.
Robertson looking to switch it. That pass is heavy low. Craig will not get there. And Hearts will be able to take over as we're approaching the half hour here at Oriam. Still Hearts 0, Celtic 0. And Kelly Clark and Jodie Bartow have been able to get up and attack at times. Sometimes thinking the quality of the delivery maybe isn't the best from Celtic so far, Emma.
No, I agree, it hasn't been, and you can see how frustrated the Celtic players are getting now, and that's due to obviously the hard work that Hearts are putting into this game. There's no space for Celtic to play in the final third, and as the game goes on, you'll be looking for Celtic, as I've mentioned, to try and retain possession of the ball. You'll try and drag Hearts out of those pockets of spaces for him to play in.
You just saw Murray Cunningham complaining to the referee. I think she wanted a foul before the throw-in was awarded. I think she's complaining of some backing in. The referee having none of it. Hearts get us going once more. Tweedy for Smith. Delworth with space to touch and go. McIntosh bursts up there all on her own. Couldn't bring the ball in. Rachel Johnston. So calm there. A 17-year-old goalkeeper. Robertson has to go chasing after her own touch. Kate Nicholson. Back for Jacinta, who's now switched sides once more. McAllister ahead, but moves inside again. Not quite linking up for Celtic at the moment. Cunningham can play that back to Charlotte Parker-Smith. Bowie wins in the air, as does Robertson. Delworth over the top to Turner. He's looking for Jenny Smith. Celtic being forced back. Jodie Bartow. Nicholson trying the first time pass, and that one again out of play. So a really intriguing 31 minutes here at Oriam so far this afternoon in the early SWPL 1 kickoff. A lot to ponder for Fran Alonso and David Haley. Hearts are certainly sticking to the game plan, and it's going very well for Andy Kirk and Aaron Hughes at the moment and the home side, and they'll grow in confidence from this. Challenge from Bartow. Wins the ball, says the officials. Jacinta now. McAllister, room to turn. Looks to play Newens. Has to hold it up. There's Atkinson. What can she do here? Izzy Atkinson with the shot. Good save, Parker-Smith. And Cunningham will come over to clear. And Celtic, for the first time maybe, just starting to find that little bit of space to create.
Yeah, and again it was McAllister. She knows she found herself behind the Hearts midfield there, and she's managed to link it up with Sarah Ewens, and Atkinson, you know, that was a fantastic touch, cut inside, and it got her shot off, and again, fantastic save from Parker-Smith.
And the visitors able to step things up with the corner. Charlotte Parker-Smith, since she came on against Glasgow City a few weeks back, saving that penalty in the second half in the game we showed on BBC Sports Scotland. She's put in some impressive performances despite the defeats Hearts have suffered. McAllister shot with the corner, gets it back, clips over to the back. Clark might get there, she does. It's headed away off the line, and that stays out. Somehow luck is on Hearts' side at the moment, and Charlotte Parker-Smith, the nerves over for that second, and it remains Hearts 0, Celtic 0.
That was a well worked corner. It's right off the training ground. You've seen the signal by McAllister before she had taken it. Sarah Ewens coming out short, and then McAllister dinking it to the back post for Kelly Clark, and you know, Hearts were lucky there.
Celtic may be able to take a little bit of confidence that those opportunities are starting to open. Here they go once more. Ball played into Ewens. She can use Atkinson again. Does so. Chloe Craig there to help. Goes for the early cross towards McAllister. Hunter wins the height battle there. Bowie. Celtic looking to cut away through. Jacinta on the right foot, goes for the effort, and gathered in by Parker Smith.
You've just seen there, Celtic looks like they've increased the tempo of play there, and they've created some opportunities, 2 opportunities there, and they've got their shot off, and they'll be looking obviously to try and get a goal before half time.
For Andy Kirk, I can't imagine there's too much to say on the touchline. He'll just be happy with the way things are going, and it'll be some extra motivation for the players to keep things the way they are. Doing a solid job at the moment. It's Hunter switching sides for Williamson. Good move from the Hearts captain around Atkinson. Smith or McIntosh. Williamson again. Hearts look to have a look at the picture in front with the ball at the back. Georgia Hunter looking long for bursts. She may get in front. Turner there first, she'll go on the run. And Kelly Clark has to come across, and just happy to get that out of play. Who's impressed you so far on the pitch, Emma?
Leah Tweedy, I think being in the middle of the Hearts midfield there, you know, she's just brought her experience to this game. She's calm, she's composed on the ball, and she's looking to try and help her other teammates, and she's been successful so far. I've been impressed with her, especially she's used to playing up in the higher position, number 9 position. She's dropped in there and she's doing extremely well today.
She's a signing that Andy Kirk was delighted with due to her goal scoring ability, but as Emma alludes to there, the experience that she brings to the squad as well in her time with Hibs. Had a bit of success with Hearts Edinburgh rivals, and that experience certainly on show in this first half. Celtic will be looking to their experience, such as Jodie Bartle. Kelly Clark now receiving the ball to just help keep the mind settled as they try to find a way through. Bowie over the top for Nicholson. She'll have a job to keep that one in play. Did she do so? The referee says no, and the throw-in will go to the home side. Just under 10 minutes to go to half-time. Hearts would probably take this scoreline in about 8-9 minutes or so, and it would give Andy Kirk a chance just to regroup the players, a couple of extra little instructions. But again, Emma, that might not even be needed because Hearts have done an excellent job so far.
Yeah, they have, and you've seen obviously the great work there that Leah Tweedy just done. You know, she's matching that run from inside to outside, and great defensive work. And yeah, I don't think Andy Kirk will have much to say at half time. It'll just be a matter of you know, encouraging them, making them aware of the positives in their play. They've been extremely well so far, Hearts.
Robertson just waving the right arm to ask Bartle and the defensive players to come up into the Hearts half. Williamson cuts that one out. Celtic will be able to restart from the throw-in. Williamson started every league game so far this season for Hearts, and she'll have a throw-in to take here. It's a little bit sloppy from Celtic. Fran Alonso very happy with 19 points from 21 available in the recent run. I'm not sure he'll be too happy with what he's seen in the first half of this game. He did mention last Sunday as well, obviously they have played against Glasgow City, but he didn't say the performance was the best in the 3-0 win against Motherwell last weekend, and that's something that's maybe playing on his mind at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree with him. Having watched the game, I didn't think Celtic performed well, and I was feeding for him on Wednesday night when he came up against Glasgow City. However, obviously their game plan worked, they managed to come away with a point, but today I think they started the game sluggish. It could obviously down to there's been numerous changes in personnel in the starting 11, and however, you know, there's a league title up for grabs here, and they'll obviously be looking to push for that. You've got players on this pitch that missed out against Glasgow City, you know, so there's big games coming up, and if you're a player, it's the big games you want to be playing in.
You can just hear Chloe Craig in the background for Celtic, clapping her hands, asking the players to step it up a bit more as we head towards the half-time break. to Bartle. Here's Chloe Craig. Looking for Atkinson. Nice touch. Craig takes over. Robertson into the Hearts area. Burst doing well to get back. Jacinta's here in space. Hearts come over to meet Celtic. There's a little ball in. Ewens picks that one up. Bowie wins the throw.
That's great pressure from Hearts once again, you know, and Sarah's looking to link up the play, and the centre backs Hunter's just followed her all the way out there, and Hearts again won the ball back here.
Jacinta going early with the cross there, but there maybe wasn't the number of bodies that Celtic would require in the penalty area. Charlotte Parker-Smith, double figures in appearances in the SWPL 2 title winning season for Hearts. Hits the ball high upfield. Tweedy takes it down. McIntosh has to help out. Claire Williamson now. Looking for the run of burst. It's been a little while since Hearts were able to pull that one off. Bartle under pressure. Smith takes over. Turner's trying to make her way into the penalty area. Smith just can't wriggle out. And Bartle bursts in to win the ball back. Hearts high at the moment. Celtic looking to play in behind. Williamson's touch falls to Rebecca McAllister. Lisa Robertson looks for where the space is, and it's with Tegan Bowie. Jacinta asking for the run from Kate Nicholson. The run is made, the cross is played in. Ewens might pick it up. Back to goal, tries to stab it through. There'll be a race between the two tens, and Smith comes out on top. And maybe quite smartly, just slows things down. A little movement with the ball allows players to go up in support. Jacinta right through the middle. McIntosh doing well to get the body in. Jacinta goes to the ground, thinks twice about the challenge. Pulls the leg back as the ball was played away. Celtic also just struggling to keep a hold of possession again. That's a nice little faking move from Turner. She'll find Burst there. But Burst will see Craig head it away. Lisa Robertson looking for the run of Ewens. Just a little bit short. And the referee's asking to have a word with someone. I'm not sure what's happened at the moment. There's maybe a little bit too much being said on the field of play, and it's possibly that frustration just beginning to show.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Bartlett wasn't happy with the challenge here when Smith came in and nipped the ball off her, and I think it's a reaction. That's why she's getting spoken to here. But you can see how frustrated the Celtic players are getting here. For me, I think Sarah Ewens playing in that number 9 position. You'd be wanting her to link up the play. You can see on that occasion there, before that phase of play, she's looking to run in behind every time, and Jacinta's coming inside. She's looking for that link up play, and I think maybe Celtic just have to change their style of play in the final third to try and retain the ball.
Celtic looking to go again. Hearts dig the ball out. Bowie back in to win it. Here's Jodie Bartle. Moving it quickly for Atkinson. That touch lets her go on the run. Looking for help. There's 4 Hearts players in front of her, so she uses Kate Nicholson. Robertson thinking about the long-range effort. There she goes, and grasped by Charlotte Parker-Smith. We've seen Lisa Robertson do that in the capital already this season. Last year in the game at Ainsley Park against Hibs, but another chance restricted to long range for Celtic.
Yeah, and again, that's just due to the lack of pockets of space that Celtic are finding in the final third, and great defending by Hearts, remaining in their 2 banks of 4, and they'll be happy with that if they're restricting Celtic to long range efforts.
Just
They're doing their job.
Half to half time as well. Here's Tegan Bowie on the burst, goes round Delworth, tries to get that one over. Hunter says no way through, and just gets the ball away Is there another chance here for Celtic before the half-time whistle to try and get their noses in front? Keegan Bowie. Screams of Teagues from Kate Nicholson. There she goes, long range, and Charlotte Parker-Smith looked like she knew early that one was going past her post. Celtic, just another effort in the centre, quite far out in that Hearts half. Is that a position, would you say, Emma, that Fran Alonso may be thinking about half-time changes?
Yeah, I think he would do. However, obviously there's been many changes to the starting 11 already. So it does lose momentum in your play, and I think, as I've mentioned, we've got to give credit to Hearts. I think Hearts have played the game extremely well this first half, and they'll be looking to go into half-time without conceding.
Turner's looked comfortable in the ball and using that move again. She's come off a couple of times for her, but Celtic managed to pick up possession from that one. Hearts now managed to nip in, and that will go out for the throw, which won't be taken, as referee Stuart Luke has blown the half-time whistle. We have a very intriguing 45 minutes ahead in the second half here in Edinburgh. Hearts against Celtic. Well, the scoreline may surprise a few at half-time, but with the recent run, Celtic have been on with momentum and going 7 games undefeated before today. People are looking at them to try and capitalise on the early kick-off, to try and hold that second spot again if they can move up there with a victory this afternoon. But Hearts have made it extremely difficult. They've looked very strong this first half, very composed, very controlled. The game plan is working perfectly for Andy Kirk so far. Fran Alonso and Celtic have some thinking to do at half-time. At half-time here in Edinburgh, it's Hearts 0, Celtic 0.
Thank you, Stuart. And I will be joined by Emma shortly. But before then, let's hear from someone who's already won the Women's Super League and the Women's League Cup so far this season. But tonight, Erin Cuthbert is looking to do one better as she plays in the Champions League final. Keradine Idzan spoke to her earlier in the week to find out how she's feeling ahead of the big match.
Erin, this season of your dreams just continues, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think when Emma put all 4 trophies up at the start of the year, you know, we knew we were fighting on all fronts, but when that's actually became a reality, it's a bit surreal, it's a bit hard to believe, but that's the squad we've created. We've put ourselves in this position, we've worked hard every day, so I'm excited that it's finally paying off.
Yeah, when I spoke to you before, you were talking about wanting to win the FA Cup, wanting to win the league, get to the Champions League final. It's just all the boxes. Tick, 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 tick.
It is tick, tick, tick. But the Champions League's no tick because we got to the final, but we've not won it. So, you know, you don't want to go that far and no win. So, we want to win it. We want to win it. The league was a big focal point for us because it shows sort of the most consistent team of the season. So I think that was high in our agenda. But for us, it's been no trophies more important than the other almost. It's almost just game as it comes. And I think every single game we've had this season's almost been a cup final because we've had to win every game. The leagues went to the wire. The cup games are knockouts. So it's really been a cup final every season. I think that's prepared as well going into Champions League this year.
But a Champions League final, that's just something else, isn't it? That's other level stuff we're talking about now.
Oh, that is what dreams are made of stuff. I think everyone knows that, and everyone would dream of being in a Champions League final. I never dreamed of being in a Champions League final when I was younger, but that really is something really, really special. I used to watch them all, male and female, because they were all on the TV. So just remember Leon winning it for years and years, and it's nice that there's going to be a new winner, and sort of that period of dominance is starting to end, and there's other teams coming up, and it's making it a really, really exciting final for even neutrals as well. It's like I said, visibility matters. If you can't see it, you can't be it. And when I grew up, there wasn't any Scottish women playing in these tournaments, so I didn't ever think it was possible almost. So I think, you know, reaching the Champions League final for me, is great, and I want to win, and I'm fully focused on winning that trophy, but I actually don't realise the impact it's going to actually have on so many young girls and boys in Scotland who actually growing up are seeing a Scottish person in a Champions League final, which is incredible, and I think that they'll think that it's achievable. So to have that dream now growing up for young girls and boys is really, really special, and I don't think that sort of value can be underestimated. Night before a big game, I shut my eyes and I visualise in bed making either a good tackle, a good pass, a good shot, a good goal, celebrating. So I've never visualised lifting the trophy yet, because I don't know if I'll be able to lift it after you've saw recent celebrations. It's been too heavy for me, so I've not quite visualised that yet. But I've visualised sort of making positive actions during the game for sure.
How are the nerves?
I don't have any. I don't get any in the lead up until the sort of first ball's kicked. Then I probably feel my first little bit of nerves about 10 seconds before the final, the whistle blows to start the game. But other than that, I don't get any. Luckily, because I know some of the girls do, and they're going to be stressed before the game. But I just try and keep my mind off it, listen to music, or just chat to my pals. I try not to take life too seriously. As soon as I take life too seriously, then you become overwhelmed. So just have a laugh and enjoy it, and you might never get this moment again, so you just got to make the most of it.
Absolutely, embrace it is basically what you're saying. Embrace the moment.
Exactly. I'm going to be soaking up every single bit. I'll be taking a photo with my friends and making sure that I can look back on this in 20 years and say I was at a Champions League final, and hopefully I was the winner of that Champions League final. So I think this Sunday is going to be memories to last a lifetime, to be honest with you. So I've just got to enjoy the day, remember, eat good pre-match meal, remember having a game of cards with my teammates, because the kick-off's at 9 o'clock. What are you supposed to do for the whole day? That's the first time our kick-off's been so late since the World Cup in Paris. So it's a late kick-off, so I'm going to try and keep myself busy as I can.
Sounds like it might be past your bedtime or something, is it?
It is well past my bedtime. I'm usually in bed watching Line of Duty when it was going, so it's more than past my bedtime. So I think I'm going to actually have to have my first long lie on Sunday.
I think you'll happily swap Line of Duty for a Champions League final, won't you? What did you rate? How did you rate the Line of Duty finale?
Oh, the ending was a bit disappointing, but I feel like it was so good, the series, that it was bound to be disappointing at the end, because it just couldn't get any better. But I was glued to the TV Sunday at 9 o'clock. That was my thing. But hopefully there's another one.
Well, I think loads of people are going to be glued to TVs this weekend. Just one final one. You said this is probably the biggest week of your life. So I'm guessing that this moment now is going to be the biggest moment of your career so far.
I think without a doubt, that probably goes hand in hand with the World Cup, I think, for sure. But certainly the biggest moment in my club career, without a shadow of a doubt. I think when you look back, you don't remember sort of. I've won 3 league titles now. I've won sort of 2 continental cups, and I've won an FA Cup. So I've sort of achieved all the sort of domestic titles I can with Chelsea, and it's not enough for me. Like, I want more. I want more, and I want more every day. That's why what keeps me ticking. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning. So I think it will definitely be the biggest moment in my club career so far. But it might not be in my lifetime, could get there again. But I think these moments are so few and far between that it's such a big moment. But in the same vein, you have to play the game and know the occasion. And if you play the occasion, that's when you don't play your game. And the reason why you're at the Champions League final is because of what you and the team do. So it's just another game. There's 2 sides to it: the biggest game of your life and just another game. And I think it's trying to find the optimum in between to find your level of performance. It's going to be crucial this weekend. And I think Emma will be working a lot on our mentality this week and leading up to the game.
And we had Paul Lambert, who went to win a Champions League with Borussia Dortmund. Are we going to have Erin Cuthbert winning a Champions League with Chelsea?
That's the dream. And hopefully Billy Gilmore lifting a Champions League with Chelsea as well. A double Chelsea Champions League would be would be incredible. But we've just got to see. We've got to see. Hopefully on Sunday, I'm on the right side of it.
Absolutely, and the Billy Gilmore thing is great as well, isn't it? I don't know. Do you guys speak? Are you in touch?
Yeah, we are in touch. We congratulate each other, and I messaged him when he got to the Champions League final. I said, about time you joined us. Keep up, because we keep getting to the semi. They got to the semi, we got to the final, and then they've got. So I'm saying you're lagging behind. You need to keep up. So it was, we're both cheering each other on. He supports me, I support him, and I think it's good to have a little Scot down here. We're both sort of young players in similar positions. You know, we'll just try to find our way down here, and we've been down here a similar amount of time, and I think the manager really likes Billy. He played really, really well last week, so it's exciting to see him doing well.
Caradine Idzan speaking to Erin Cuthbert there, and somebody who knows Erin well is Emma Black. Now, Emma, what a season she's having, and she pretty much is living the dream at Chelsea just now, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely she is. I know, I remember when Erin had signed for Glasgow City when I was there at 16-year-old, and you can see then she was always playing above her age. Playing women's football, playing in Champions League when she was 16, she was always playing above herself, and so it's fantastic to see a Scot in a Champions League final tonight.
I was going to say, it must be amazing actually knowing from where she's come from and actually where she is now, just to see how much she's developed, and she still has so much of her career left ahead of her too.
Yeah, and I think we forget she's still only 22, and she's achieved so much in her career so far, and especially with the likes of players that she's playing alongside. Like Sam Kerr, world-class players, and she's still managed to retain her spot in that Chelsea squad.
And to be playing in a Champions League final tonight, I mean, irrespective of the result, how much of a statement is that for players across Scotland and kind of across the world looking at this Scot playing in such a huge match?
It's fantastic, you know, and she's a top role model for any young girl coming through. As she says, she never dreamt of playing in a Champions League final before, and she's at that stage and she's on that opportunity to play there. It's just fantastic.
And as Erin was saying in the feature there, I mean, we do hear it a lot, but it's so important. If you can't be it, you can't see it. But I mean, for Erin now, she'll have so many people coming up through the ranks looking at her and thinking, right, she is my icon and like who I want to be playing football.
Yeah, even before she got to this stage at the Champions League final tonight, she was already a role model. She was unique in her style of play, and when she plays, she gives her all. Every opportunity she's on that pitch, she steps over that white line, she gives 110%. You can see that in her style of play.
Well, it will be so good to see how she gets on tonight. But we do move on to today's match. A 0-0 draw at half-time. It's not really what we're used to in SWPL 1. What will Celtic make of that first half?
I think they'll be disappointed with their play, you know. As we spoke about in commentary, if they're looking to challenge Glasgow City and look to obviously win that title, it's performances like today and games like today, they have to be picking up the 3 points, they have to up their game, and I've been disappointed how they've played today. However, credit to Hearts, I think Hearts have been fantastic in the first half.
Well, I was going to say much better from Hearts, because it has been a tough season for them. We know that they conceded so many goals, but actually to keep Celtic to 0-0 at half-time, it's good from them.
Yeah, they have, and as I says, I've been so impressed with them. You know, they're playing a 4-4-2, they're sticking to their positions, they're not getting dragged out, and that's frustrating Celtic, and we can see that in the first half.
What does Celtic need to do now in the second half?
I think they've got to try and retain possession of the ball. You know, they've got to try and drag Hearts out of that 4-4-2 and create opportunities, create those pockets of spaces, and they'll be disappointed. And you can see Celtic have made some changes at half-time already. You can see Rachel Donaldson coming on. You know, they'll be looking for her to get on the ball and put crosses into the box.
Great, thank you. Well, I'll let you get back up to your commentary position, because the second half is just about to get underway. It's currently Hearts 0, Celtic 0, and here's our commentator Stuart Mitchell.
Thanks, Iona. Well, what does the next 45 minutes have in store for us at Oriam? We make it 4 changes made by Celtic at half-time. A more experienced look for the second half on come Caitlin Hayes, Rachel Donaldson, Anna Philby and London Pollard. It looks like the players going off: Tegan Bowie, Rebecca McAllister. We also have Izzy Atkinson and Kate Nicholson, who don't seem to have appeared for the second half. Referee Stuart Luke just having a check of those changes as well. You can see Anna Philby making her way onto the field, Donaldson now, and then Caitlin Hayes and London Pollard finally the changes on. So Fran Alonso, we did ask towards half time, is there a potential for changes to be made? Fran Alonso isn't waiting any longer, as he looks to inject some energy and creativity into the Celtic side. Looking at the Hearts side, you can't imagine Andy Kirk is worried about the look of the side at the moment. Hearts only with 1 victory and 1 draw in the campaign so far have frustrated Celtic when they come forward and have posed their own threat up towards Celtic's defence at times also. And straight away a mix up there, a burst goes on the charge. Pollard does well to shoulder her off, but Hearts have the early free kick, and Hearts begin the same way they played the first 45, Emma.
Yeah, they have, and they're on their front foot here already. This is an opportunity for them to get the ball into the box, and you can just see the mix up there by Pollard and Philby, and then Pollard giving the foul away there. You can obviously tell that Fran Alonso wasn't happy with the first half performance, that he's made those changes.
Cunningham shaping up for what possibly looks like a long range shot at goal. There are a number of players on that penalty box line for the home side. Up steps Murray Cunningham. It's floating down on Rachel Johnson, but she manages to see that all the way and grabs it comfortably. Would have thought of why not when you get a set piece in that area, Emma?
Yeah, especially with Murren's ability, she does have that long range strike, and it's comfortable for Rachel there. That was obviously the way she would be looking to start the second half, a touch of the ball early on.
Hayes with a couple of first touches after coming on at half time. Into centre back with Kelly Clark, which means Jodie Bartow has moved out to left back. Chloe Craig in at right back, as she was in the first half. Celtic do have a lot of that versatility in their side. We've seen it a number of times this season, especially in defence, in the wide defensive areas, as they do like to get the players forward from the back to attack. There is Hayes. Just restarts to Clark. Jacinta under pressure again, as she was many times in the first half. Foul against the home side.
And you can see Celtic's intent now, obviously beginning this second half. They're looking obviously to play the ball quicker, tempo and play. And you can hear the shout from the sideline also that they're trying to increase the pressure on Hearts here.
And there is the Hearts coaching staff. What do you think they might have said to the players at half time, Emma? Just more of the same? Is it as simple as that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think Andy Kirk will be delighted with how his players have performed in the first half, and they'll be obviously looking at, on occasions when they do get that ball, just a little bit more on it, in terms of looking for that counter-attack over the Celtic backline.
Parker Smith will get us started again from the goal kick. Cluster of players on this near side. Tweedy tries to head it on up into the air. Cunningham screams. There's a foul against the Hearts defender there. Stuart look unhappy with the challenge. And Celtic with a neat position to try and clip a ball into the area. Let's have a look again. Did you see much in that one, Emma?
Yeah, I think it was a foul. Murren did shout early. She was going for it. However, I'm just not sure why she didn't jump. She obviously had her eye on the ball, but Pollard's just stood her ground and won the foul here, and it's an opportunity for Celtic to get the ball into the box.
7 in the area for Robertson's delivery. It's teasing on top of the 6-yard area. Parker Smith collects. The wind has picked up a little bit here at Oriam, and it's maybe an opportunity for those set pieces to just be held up in the air a few seconds longer. Can put defenders and the goalkeeper from both sides under a little bit of pressure with the change in the wind. Craig with the header up the line. Williamson cuts it out. Philby, who's impressed in recent weeks in a Celtic shirt. Smith, who's impressed in the first half for Hearts. She'll try and chase that. Whistle from the referee awards Hearts the throw-in.
Yeah, it was good pressure there from Smith. I have been impressed with her also in today's game, especially the first half. She's just playing behind the number 9, and she's the one that's looking obviously to put pressure on Celtic and use her pace, and she's won the throw in here.
Claire Williamson with the throw. She has 25 under 19 caps for Scotland. Hearts can't make much of that one. Celtic will look to get moving quickly as Rachel Johnston plays it short. Caitlin Hayes. She has it again. Do suspect Celtic will be looking to use the wide areas. Sarah Ewens is playing on the far left side now. Donaldson's on the near right. Not a surprise that the shape has changed from the substitutions from Fran Alonso a little bit. Here's Kelly Clark. Jacinta. Clips it in for Pollard. Tries to take the touch, it's a bit heavy. Tweedy can steal possession. Forward it goes towards Burse. Turner and Smith looking to support. Robertson's there with a high one back to the goalkeeper. Smith goes to put some pressure on. Hayes hits that high. Cunningham's header down for Delworth. Manages to spring in to bring the ball down, but Celtic will have it. Jacinta, space on the left for Ewens, and that's where the ball goes. Pollard in the area. Ewens with the delivery. Pollard's there with the touch, cleared away. That was Williamson. The last player there. This will encourage Celtic. Robertson to Ewens. Can she get another delivery in? It's high and it's a ball with a lot of pace. And Parker Smith smartly falls to ground. And will just take a little bit of the sting out of Celtic's attack at the moment.
Yeah, that was great defending there again from Hearts. You see Sarah Ewens out in the wide area. She'll be looking obviously to get the ball to feet, and in the wide area looking to take on her player, get crosses into the box or cut in and shoot with her right foot, but we've seen her many times before do.
Hearts go back to move forward. Cunningham to Williamson. Up for Aitchison. Signed from Spartans at the start of December. 4 appearances there this season. Had to play by Cunningham under pressure. And possibly that experience of the Celtic changes starting to show in the press. Hearts maybe had a little bit too much time on the ball in the first half. And that's something Fran Alonso could be looking to rectify. Robertson squeezes the ball through. Jacinta can't take it in. Hearts with a number of players there. Hunter under pressure. Jacinta steals possession. Sarah Ewens. Philby has Rachel Donaldson on the right. Donaldson takes. Williamson blocking the route for Hearts. Craig there. Two players isolated. Craig in on the left foot. There's the shot and it just creeps into the back. And Celtic have the breakthrough. It's taken a while. It's taken into the second half. But good work from Chloe Craig on the left foot. We've seen her do it so many times this season. And she's Celtic's hero again. And it's her 65th goal on her 200th appearance. It's Hearts 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, that's great link-up play by Rachel and Chloe Craig there, and you can see she's just opened up. As soon as she's took her touch inside, you know, it just opens up the play, it just opens up the goal, and she's just slotted that into the side net, and that's a fantastic finish from Chloe Craig, and especially on a special occasion for her today. You know, she's on the score sheet once again.
Well, he thought his players deserved more on Wednesday night. Fran Alonso, I'm not sure how he felt about that first half. I'm sure we will find out possibly after the game, but he's a much happier man at the moment, and he'll want that to kick-start Celtic this afternoon. And you can hear his voice screaming at his players a little bit louder now as he just tries to inject a little bit more from the sidelines, the Celtic manager. You spoke earlier, Emma, about the kind of representative Chloe Craig has been to Celtic as vice-captain, and again she steps up.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and this possibly could settle Celtic down now, you know, taking the lead. The changes at half-time, they've made a positive impact, and for me, Chloe would have been disappointed not to play, obviously, Wednesday night against Glasgow City. You know, a big game. She's a big player for Celtic, and especially obviously with that penalty, you know, it was obviously a fantastic save from the Alexander on the night. But for me, if Chloe Craig was playing, you know, I think she'd have stepped up and she'd have scored that penalty, because she's quietly confident going about her business as she usually does when it comes to penalties.
It's Chloe Craig's 8th goal this season. She scored at Oriam from the penalty spot in the win against Hearts in the second match day, as Jacinta looks to try and help Celtic add to their lead. Ball will go forward again. Ewens collects, gets to the line, high it goes, and Hunter has to help it over for the corner. You could just see the change in energy and momentum that goal has given the away side this afternoon.
Yeah, it certainly has. You know, it's perked Celtic up, and it's what they needed. You know, I thought they were flat the first half. Of course, credit to Hearts, they were fantastic. But the changes as well, you know, that's obviously had a positive impact on them.
Delivery towards Hayes, heads it back to the penalty spot. Philby's there, away by Tweedy. Clark thinks about the volley, Turner's in to prevent. Smashed upfield to give Burst something to chase. Donaldson trying to shield, she's done well to turn, but Burst doesn't give up. And that's a nice move between Clark and Robertson. Celtic on the move. Jacinta's asking for the run. Cross comes in, Hunter there again. And she'll look to just hit that one anywhere to get it away from the penalty box. Robertson looking for Ewens. Hunter once more takes up the perfect position. Bartle. Donaldson, another of the 4 substitutes made at half-time by Celtic. He's another. Clark, who was on from the start. Robertson looking for Jacinta. The flag goes up on the near side to her right. Jacinta looking across the line, gets caught that time.
Yeah, that's poor from Jacinta. You know, she can see straight along. She's the furthest player away, so she's keeping herself on side there. That's disappointing.
A bit of a change for Andy Kirk in the second half. But again, things don't change for Hearts. What they were working on first half was doing the job, and they have shown they can get into the Celtic third. Parker Smith sends it upfield. On towards Burst. Clark comes away. Donaldson runs in to clear Williamson. Puts out for the throw. Hearts can reorganise. Celtic can set up. Rachel Donaldson picks out Pollard. Jacinta through the middle. Philby there as well, lets it run. Robertson looks for Ewens. That's a pass that looks to be on this second half. Bartle moves forward, helps it over, and it's Philby. Good save, Parker Smith. Williamson gets it away, and Celtic moving up the gears.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was fantastic play there from Lisa Robertson. You know, she's opened her body up, she's switched to play, she's linked it up well, and Bartlett's obviously got her cross in, her first time cross, and then Philby's unlucky there, and fantastic save from Parker Smith.
Throw-in was taken quickly. Celtic want goals. Hayes for the goal scorer. Chloe Craig. Pollard and Donaldson go for the same ball. The last touch off Tweedy. Smith. Hunter. Williamson. The Celtic voices are certainly louder now at Oriam. Hearts just looking for a way out of their own third. Crossfield it goes. Hunter's pass for Delworth is short. Look at the energy from Ewens. But that one will go out for the goal kick. Whatever Fran Alonso did at half-time has worked.
Yeah, it has, and I think the first half it was quiet from the sidelines, wasn't it? Maybe that had an impact on how the girls were performing the first half, and you can see he's more animated now. He's obviously shouting on instructions, and that seems to be helping the girls so far. 15
minutes into the second half, Hearts 0, Celtic 1. Chloe Craig with the left-footed strike, coming in from the right. Parker Smith was maybe short-sighted from Hunter, who was standing in front, and the ball just managed to move past the Hearts defender. The challenge in the middle will give Hearts an opportunity to get the ball forward. Foul on Leah Tweedy. Leah Tweedy started the last 4 matches for Hearts, but Georgia Hunter down at the moment, needing a little bit of treatment. She's been heavily involved in the last few Celtic attacks at the front post, heading the ball away.
Yeah, she has. She's been under pressure, hasn't she? But she's dealt with it comfortably so far. Hearts will obviously be wanting to keep her on the pitch. I think she's played fantastically well so far. She made some good interceptions the first half. However, it looks like they're possibly having to make a change here. That'll be disappointing for Hearts because, as I've mentioned, she has played well so far.
It's going to be Ailey Davies coming on, getting some final instructions from Andy Kirk. Georgia Hunter signed a new contract with the SWPL 2 champions ahead of this new season. She's up on her feet at the moment, so may be able to continue once she's assessed. I imagine Andy Kirk and Hearts will want to try and keep it as settled as possible, as they still have a big chance in this game, with it only being a 1-goal lead for Celtic at the moment.
Yeah, of course they have, and they've been in this position many a times before, Hearts, and conceding goals, and it's how they've obviously bounced back. I think there's still obviously time for opportunities for Hearts. They'll be obviously looking to still play the same way they have been playing the first half.
The shout across to the Hearts coaching staff seems to be that Hunter can continue, and we will continue again with the free kick once the referee allows Claire Williamson to get things restarted. Cunningham's pass is an opportunity for Jacinta, but McIntosh gets it upfield. Turner can't get there in time. Full card in the SWPL 1 this afternoon. Motherwell take on Hibs, which started at 2 o'clock. Glasgow City against Forfar Farmington also this afternoon, and Spartans take on Rangers. 4:10 kick-off on BBC Alaba. And tonight at 8:30 you'll have SWPL Sports Scene on the BBC Scotland channel with all the action. Is there another goal to be shown as Pollard tries to get in? Cut out by the Hearts defence. As Hunter is back on the field. Bartle has the throw for Celtic. Pollard for Jacinta. Looks up. Shot to Robertson. Hayes steps into play through a number of maroon bodies. Philby can't turn. Hayes has it again. Looking for Donaldson, but that one has too much pace on the ball, and Hearts will have the throw in at the corner flag. Donaldson had such a big stamp on the game last Sunday against Motherwell with the 2 goals. Hearts will just edge up that touchline. Pollard brings it down. Craig and Robertson exchange. Clark. Donaldson with no one around. Aitchinson's there to rectify that. Donaldson gets the ball in. It's a hard one to defend. Tweedy heads away, drops for Bartle. Blocked off the feet of Delworth. Celtic want the corner. Stuart Luke, the referee, gives the goal kick.
Yeah, that was a fantastic diagonal ball there by Kelly Clark out to Rachel, and that's what Rachel's good at. She's good at facing up the full-back, gets an early touch and gets a cross into the box, and again, great defending from Hearts in the 6-yard box.
Bartle's only league goal away to Hibs, looking to add away to Hearts, but Delworth in the right spot. Donaldson heads it back in to attack for Celtic, but Hearts can move forward. Burse and Smith with good teamwork. Tweedy. Hunter looking for Turner, just trying to spread the ball out to the wide areas, but unfortunate with that one.
Yeah, you heard Andy Kirk earlier, the beginning of the second half. He's wanting his centre backs to play those diagonal balls, and he was urging them to play it quick to try and catch the Celtic defence out, especially when their full backs go and attack.
Screams for a Hearts throw in, and the assistant on the far side agrees. Opportunity to move up for the girls in maroon. It looks like that change is finally going to be made for Hearts. They thought about it earlier, but Hunter was able to continue at that time. But at the moment, she's looking to make her way off the field of play. And it will be the 16-year-old Ailey Davies coming on. And up she'll go to join into this Hearts attack. Still 25 minutes to play here at Oriam. Hearts still in this. They threatened a couple of times in the first half. Murray Cunningham in the second half had a long-range free kick that didn't really trouble Rachel Johnson. Will they get another chance to get the score back to level? Early pressure for the substitute on Jodie Bartle. Able to let that one run over for the goal kick. Can't imagine Fran Alonso will be happy with the 1-goal lead. We heard them earlier on. We heard the Celtic bench screaming with encouragement, but things have just settled down a little bit again, Emma.
Yeah, they have, and you can see it looks like he's making another change. It looks like Kiva Keenan's getting ready to come on. You know, she's an attacking fullback. It looks like possibly could play her up in the wider positions. Brings a more attacking threat onto the pitch, you know, and he'll be disappointed with the 1-0 leads, and he'll be looking obviously to score some more goals. But I think there is time still for Hearts to create opportunities and create chances.
Pollard looking to play in Philby. She's broken through, and there's a touch from Williamson, and that one just trickles into the back of the net. That's painful for Hearts. Celtic don't care. They will take it. It's been a difficult afternoon for them. They haven't had many opportunities, clear-cut opportunities, so they'll take that. And the own goal makes it Hearts 0, Celtic 2.
Yeah, and it was a great pass here from Caitlin Hayes. Good link-up play by Pollard. Just get lucky there with a ricocheted, and a great through ball and fantastic run from Philby. And you can see obviously Williamson did react well, but she's just unfortunate there. She's just put it into her own net.
There's Celtic on the way towards another 3 points in the capital. Hearts have shown plenty of spirit in this match, but 2 moments have led to 2 conceded goals, and all the hard work has unravelled. And as Emma mentioned, Kiva Keenan is just making her way onto the field over on the far side at the end of the afternoon. Lisa Robertson off and Kelly Clark stepping into the middle. Jodie Bartle now looks to have gone to centre back with Kiva Keenan on the left side. Another reshuffle for Celtic. Turner trying to get the ball through for Burse. Philby.
Yeah, Bartlett's played in every position in the back line today. You know, she started off at right centre back, and she's obviously went out to full back, now back into left centre back, and she's very versatile. Bartlett, you know, she is comfortable across that back four, and you know, Kelly Clark, she's played numerous games in the midfield there, and she'll just slot in there and sit in front of the back four and to protect the lead.
That must be great for a manager. You know, a player so versatile is at your disposal, and sometimes you're really happy to play anywhere. You'll know from your playing days, you're happy to play anywhere as long as you get to play.
Yeah, of course, and she's comfortable, as I've mentioned, whether it's at centre back or at full back. No, Bartlett's very aggressive in her play, and it's good for a manager to have that player at their disposal, as you've mentioned. You don't feel stressed or under pressure knowing that if someone's injured or change of personnel, that she can just move along that back line.
It'll be important for Fran Alonso as well. We want to keep a clean sheet, so no matter who has played in defence this afternoon, that will be the end result. If they can keep Hearts out, He did say earlier the 3 points is the biggest thing, but that 2-goal lead now makes it a little bit more comfortable. There he is, pointing out the instructions, setting up the team so that Hearts can't find a way through to threaten Rachel Johnston in goal. Turner trying to turn. Cunningham. Aitchison looking to get the ball back to Williamson. Donaldson diverts it to Hayes. Bartle on the move. There is Kiva Keenan. It's her 55th Celtic appearance for the substitute. Hayes. Hearts have the throw. What do you think Andy Kirk will be wanting to see from his Hearts side now in the rest of the second half? Is it try and get forward and get a goal, because obviously they've went a number of games now without scoring, and that's something that could help drive on a bit of confidence and motivation for the rest of the season when they come up against the teams around them in the league table?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I think we're looking obviously not to concede any more goals, and if you look at obviously the number of goals that Hearts have scored, it's been so little, so it's we don't create too many chances in games, but we're obviously looking to try and get on the score sheet here. But first and foremost, I think they won't want to concede any more goals, and obviously they've improved from the first half of the season to now.
Donaldson, high ball looking towards the back post. Parker Smith clutches that one from the air. Quality of delivery has been a little bit better in the second half from Celtic. That's what Rachel Donaldson provides. She's got up and down that right side since coming on at half time. Hearts goalkeeper gets us going once more. Just over 50 minutes to go. Can Celtic make it 3? Ewens has Keenan on the overlap. Picks up the ball now. Cut back for Philby. A wave by Cunningham, and Tweedy helps it up. Burse 1-on-2 if she can get around Bartle. And she's still doing some effort of running, Amelie Burse. There's a little bit of a gap there between her and her midfielders as Craig looks for Philby. Jacinta's moving into the back, and Philby, we've seen a lot of quality from her in recent weeks, but that just wasn't there for Anna Philby.
No, it wasn't. It was a fantastic run again. You know, she's looking to break the lines and get in behind the Hearts defence, and that's how Celtic got their second goal, through Philby making that run, and she's just unfortunate there. She doesn't manage to get the ball on target.
Possibly in a bit of two minds with the players moving in to the 6-yard area. She went for goal, didn't catch it correctly. Clark wins, leaves it for Hayes. The two 18s clash. Hayes and Burse. Burse is up and right back to it, low. Something she's done all afternoon. 50 minutes left in the second half. Hearts 0, Celtic 2. Goals from Chloe Craig, and then a mix-up in defence led to a second for Celtic. Philby looking for Donaldson. This is where the first goal came from. Donaldson to Craig. Craig passes to Jacinta, has all the space to move into the box. Her shot curling wide all the way. She's looking to get her first Celtic goal. She'll be getting frustrated the longer the wait goes on, Jacinta.
Yeah, and you can see obviously how disappointed Rachel Donaldson was there. She's looking obviously for Jacinta to slide her in, but she's mentioned she's been selfish. She's looking to get on the score sheet. She's an attacking player, and you can't obviously knock players if they're looking to obviously take their first touch and get a shot off. You can't, for me, you can't be obviously saying that's a negative in the game. But again, great link-up play by Rachel Donaldson and Chloe Craig once again.
You can see Amelie Burse down at the moment. There's a couple of Hearts changes in the waiting, and Amelie Burse is putting a shift up top for the Jambos this afternoon. The 16-year-old Hearts Academy graduate, highly rated by Andy Kirk, but she was bursting with effort earlier and she possibly just pulled up as she was chasing down the Celtic defence. And it'll be a couple of changes for Hearts now. Shona Cowan and Rachel Walkinshaw coming on. Rachel Walkinshaw, experienced Hearts player, last featured back in mid-April as a sub in the defeat to Motherwell. She had 12 league goals last season for Hearts, so can certainly attack. And there's Amy Anderson, who was 17 yesterday. We saw her at Forfar for Farmington earlier this season. Now a Hearts player. And Leah Tweedy, one that you've been impressed with going off, Emma. And Katie Turner as well, who's also putting a lot of hard work up top for Hearts.
Yeah, they've covered a lot of ground. You know, it's been extremely difficult for them, especially obviously playing against Celtic today. You know, Celtic are full time. They are going to be much fitter than them, and they've covered extremely a lot of ground. They've covered. It's a hot day. They've been playing midweek games, so they are going to fatigue quicker.
Amy Anderson's a former Celtic player, but I think there's a little bit of confusion around the substitute at the moment.
I think it's to do with her ear piercing. I think looks like the linesman's been trying to tell her to take it out, but she's got it taped up, so I'm not sure if she can come on the pitch. I don't think they're allowing her to come on.
She'll want to get on the field against her former club and try and create a bit of an impact. So Leah Tweedy for the moment is back on the field. As Hearts try to just rearrange, we might see the introduction of Amy Anderson in a few moments once that's rectified. But Charlotte Parker-Smith has players awaiting for the goal kick. Just under 50 minutes left to go here at Oriam. Clark back into that Hearts defence. Pollard on the move. Ball just caught up from the challenge, and Smith across field looking for Tweedy on the run forward. She was almost going off a few moments ago. Bit of extra work there, and she does fantastically to keep that ball in. It was Ailey Davies trying to come across to help out, but Celtic will come away.
Yeah, that was great work ethic there from Leah Tweedy. She's fortunate she's still on the pitch, obviously with the issue with Anderson, but looks like she's pushed up higher up, Leah Tweedy.
Pollard, Ewan's on the spin, and Cunningham clears. Nice pass through from London Pollard. Keenan delivers again. Parker-Smith there. Philby's there. Down it goes. Jacinta, Cowan, and the goalkeeper on top. Stuart Luke blows the whistle. Bodies flying everywhere as Celtic go in search of a third. And Anna Philby's taking a sore one. And just get another look at that. Another hard cross to defend. Don't think the players exactly knew where it was. Jacinta was coming in. Cowan did enough to put her off. And Fran Alonso will be looking worryingly at Philby at the moment. Some care being given by Kelly Clark as well. And that's the last thing he'll want. Just the landing, or yeah, a little bit of a knock on the back of the head,
yep.
I think there, Emma.
Yeah, it was, and you know, it's confident play from Parker-Smith, you know, to come off her line and challenge for it. And Philby has been a big player, as you've mentioned, for Celtic, so they'll be looking for her to remain on the pitch. Looks like she's back up on her feet here, and
Parker-Smith has been in impressive form since Hearts were forced to the substitution in the game against Glasgow City. It's all started with that penalty save. Again, we mentioned earlier just how good a job she did in goal on Wednesday night against Rangers as Hearts travelled through to the west. A 4-0 defeat there. But you look at Hearts this season, step by step they've looked to improve. And you had the 10-0 game earlier in the season, which wasn't one that Hearts were happy with, and then they travelled along to K Park after the restart, and it was only 3 on that occasion. And again, another good performance from Hearts this afternoon.
Yeah, as I've mentioned, compared to the first half of the season to now, you know, Hearts have improved greatly. You can see they've been working extremely hard on the training field with their shape. You know, the players are well coached. They've got an experienced manager that's at the touchline, you know. So obviously coaching them extremely well. The players know their job. You know, they know when to attack, know when to defend, and we'll be looking obviously to try and, as you mentioned, try and get on the score sheet here.
Up it goes, Donaldson with the final touch. Obviously, Philby off at the moment as Hearts look to get going. Pollard for Celtic doing the running. Smith's in there. Ball out left for Aitchison. Craig steps up. Clears away. And obviously, with the number of substitutions that Celtic have made this afternoon, Philby off the pitch getting attended to Celtic at the moment with only 9 outfield players. And that might just give Hearts the opportunity if they sense a vulnerability in Celtic, as Bartle doing a great job to make sure there's no weakness there.
No, that was great defending there from Bartlett. You know, she just knew she wasn't allowing Jenny Smith to run by her there. She's used her body there extremely well and just allowed the ball to run out of play.
I think we're now going to see the introduction of Amy Anderson as Leah Tweedy an extra few minutes under her belt, possibly unexpected. And Amy Anderson comes onto the field and has come off the bench in her first 3 games at Hearts. Make that 4, and she'll go right up top to do the job that Amelie Burse was doing earlier, leading the attack for Hearts. Rachel Johnson looking to get things underway again. We'll be hoping to add to our clean sheet tally. 3 clean sheets before today. Could that be 4 and 4? Keenan for Celtic. Does well to keep possession. Jacinta looking for Keenan again. Donaldson. Craig going out wide. Donaldson tries to shift it on the right foot. It's well spotted by Aitchison. In there again. Donaldson with the foot in. Gets back. Cowan. Cunningham. Over the top of Craig and Caitlin Hayes. Keenan. Cowan heads away. What can Hearts do here? Holly Aitchison. Anderson in front. Smith on the right. Aitchison goes all alone. It nearly got through to Anderson. Craig stepping in, and Jacinta helps Celtic the other way. Pollard, lovely ball forward, goes for the first time effort, and that just whistles past the post. We've seen Pollard do that already this season against Celtic, and she nearly did it in a Celtic shirt there.
Yeah, and that's what she's good at. You know, she uses her pace. She's extremely fast, and she's already pointing. She knows where she wants the ball, and as you've mentioned, she did score an exceptional goal against actually Celtic when she was at 4 for the first half of the season.
Fran Alonso hasn't hesitated in putting her on the pitch since she signed last Saturday. Helped on by Walkinshaw. Keenan for Celtic. Ewens bursts forward. Pollard there as well. Celtic will accept the throw-in. Just over 5 minutes to play here at Oriam. Hearts 0, Celtic 2. Celtic haven't had it all their way. Forced into a number of changes from the first half performance as Fran Alonso looked to inject some energy into the side that had a tough game on Wednesday against top of the table Glasgow City. Walkinshaw heads away. Ewens tries to take it down. She can hit it from there, but she wasn't allowed to. Donaldson being forced away from goal. Does brilliantly there, almost a full 360. Clark. Keenan. Can't go around Lily Davies. Good work from the substitute.
Yeah, that was excellent defending there, you know, and Keenan will be looking to make an impact. You know, she's not played many minutes, so she'll be disappointed with that. So she's come on and she's did extremely well so far.
All players in the Hearts half. Hayes. Donaldson. Philby steps in, goes to ground, free kick awarded. Hearts unhappy, but Celtic have the perfect position to try and make it 3. And there's players that will fancy this.
Yeah, there will be. It looks like possibly Philby. You know, as soon as she won the foul there, our first thought was, can she get a hold of the ball? You'd be looking obviously to get this in target.
That ball's a little bit close at the moment, so it will be sent back by referee Stuart Luke. It's the kind of position that you sometimes see the free kick taker being a left footer. But Philby sets her position. Can she add to her 3 goals for Celtic? Anna Philby. Oh, it's a super save from Parker Smith. Back into the area. Away from Rachel Walkingshaw. Celtic have it again. Ewan's trying to send it back to Keenan. McIntosh loses out to Pollard, thinks about the long ranger, and Charlotte Parker Smith saw it all the way.
I think Parker Smith's been fantastic today, hasn't she? I mean, this was an exceptional save. You know, she's got strong hands onto it. She's pushed it away from goal.
The time ticks by. Nobody is looking towards full time at the moment. Celtic are looking to add to their goals. Hearts will want to get on the score sheet at least. Shona Cowan. The ball in front of Aitchison. The referee will pull it back for the foul. And there is that Philby free kick once more. Strong save from Parker Smith. Stretching all the way over to her right. And it wasn't just the save, but managed to push it away from danger. As Walkinshaw has a look at her options from the free kick. It's towards Anderson. Can't let that one stick. Pollard, Jacinta, Ewan's left. If Jacinta can get the ball over. And there is Kirsty McIntosh stepping into the field of vision. Looking to play in Anderson. Keenan charging. Trying to get the ball forward for Pollard. But that's way too far in front. I said some players aren't looking towards full time. I'm sure they are. Celtic away from home, wanting the 3 points, which will move them back to second temporarily. These heads away. All eyes will turn to that game. Spartans against Rangers also here in the capital over at Ainsley Park. 4:10 kickoff on BBC Alaba. Remember all the action on SWPL Sports Scene tonight on the BBC Scotland channel from 8:30. McIntosh, that was neat. Faked the clear, passed it into Williamson. It's changed position in the second half. Looking a bit forward from the reshuffle from Andy Kirk. Philby in with the challenge. Might still be there for Hearts. Keenan does well. Ewans can't turn. The ball might make its way up to Pollard. She's got the run on McIntosh. Jacinta there to support. Philby's running late. Across from Pollard. It might still be there for Philby. And that rounds it off for Celtic. She had the opportunity moments ago from the free kick. But that was a much easier finish. She stayed controlled. And Anna Philby has her 4th goal for Celtic. It's the 3rd of the afternoon. Hearts 0, Celtic 3.
Yeah, great run from Pollard here. You know, she's using her pace. She did fantastic. Her first touch here just taken it away, and she puts in an excellent cross, and then Philby once again breaking the lines and finding herself in that 6-yard box and getting on the score sheet.
I know both Fran Alonso and London Pollard are Desperate for her to get on the score sheet early in her Celtic career, but can't underestimate the work done there with the running from London Pollard, and creates the opportunity. It's harsh on Hearts, but Celtic have managed to find a way. 3 goals, and as we move into second half stoppage time, 3 points for them. And they'll look towards Wednesday night again as the action comes thick and fast in SWPL 1. And the final cycle of fixtures. Celtic take on Spartans on Wednesday. Hearts travel to Forfar Farmington, which will be a game that they'll look to take spirit from, especially from today's performance, and try and pick up the 3 points to get closer to Motherwell at the foot of the SWPL 1 table.
Yeah, of course, they'll take a lot of positives from today's game, particularly in the first half. With obviously Celtic, they have the depth in squad where they can rotate their players, they can rest players, and Hearts obviously not so much, and it's telling in the second half, as I've mentioned, they're starting to fatigue just after the hour mark, and whereas Celtic are able to bring on fresh legs.
Ball through for Ewens. Can Parker Smith get there? Yes, she can. Applauded from both sides, that passage of play. Again, there's Keenan, she just has the look up. Brilliant ball through. Ewens just can't get there in time. Good goalkeeping.
Yeah, that was an excellent ball from Kiva. Fantastic run from Sarah, and I think Sarah probably be disappointed with her performance today. You know, on occasion she's obviously looking to try and play it first time, and it's not paid off for her, especially out in this wide area.
He's more in Celtic before the full-time whistle. Kiva Keenan. Bartle to Hayes. Craig's in plenty of space on the right. Around Cowan, in it goes. Hayes is there and cleared away, but it's high for Pollard. Gets the touch, and Parker Smith will fall to ground and collect. Hearts possibly just switching off there at the end of the second half a little bit. It's been a tough afternoon for the home side. A power of work put in. Andy Kirk will be feeling for his team with the effort they put in today. Fran Alonso and Celtic won't care. They just ruthlessly want the points. Jodie Bartle looks for Kiva Keenan. Looking for Pollard, brought it down beautifully across to Philby and cut out by Cowan. And Celtic just creeping in at the back again.
Yeah, fantastic work again from London Pollard. She's had a positive impact this second half, and Philby again breaking the lines once more and finding herself in the 6-yard box.
16-year-old substitute for Hearts doing well, but her and her teammates have a corner to defend. Jacinta delivers. It's on top of the keeper. There was a head there, but it trickles to the back. Clark holds up for Bartle. Donaldson won't get time to send the cross over, and it's job done for Celtic, but it certainly wasn't easy in the capital this afternoon. 0-0 at half-time led to head coach Fran Alonso ringing the changes at the break. 4 substitutes on after a battling performance on Wednesday night against Glasgow City, where they picked up a point. 3 was the target this afternoon, and they eventually managed 3 goals in the second half to seal those 3 points. The first coming from Chloe Craig. Great work on the right with Rachel Donaldson, and on her 200th appearance with a presentation ahead of the game, scored goal number 65, and that brought the pressure off the visitors a little bit. But Fran Alonso and his side wanted more on the attack. An unfortunate mix-up into the penalty area led to a second, and then it was sealed fantastically by Philby. Good work from Celtic down the left side as Anna Philby got her 4th Celtic goal of the season. Job done for Celtic. Not sure the performance was what they wanted, but they'll look forward. It's finished here at Oriam. Hearts 0, Celtic 3.
Well, Celtic now extend their unbeaten run to 8 games in a row with a 3-0 victory over Hearts, who remain bottom of the table. Emma, much better from Celtic in that second half. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it was looked like a different team. The second half performance from Celtic, and you could tell Fran was disappointed with the first half performance that he had to make the 4 substitutes. And I was impressed with Pollard when she came on. She made a positive impact, and also Philby getting on the score sheet.
Well, London Pollard's looking great. You're almost just waiting for her to score now, aren't you?
Yeah, especially obviously that opportunity she had where she ran in behind the back line of Hearts, and that's something that she's good at, and she just managed to obviously drag her shot wide. But Philby also was impressed with her. She was excellent when she came on today. She was breaking the lines and finding herself on the score sheet, as I mentioned.
And Chloe Craig finally breaking the deadlock in the second half, and for her to get a goal in her 200th appearance, quite special.
Yeah, of course it is. Chloe's a big player for Celtic, and it was fantastic link-up play from Rachel Donaldson and Chloe. And then Chloe's obviously managed to cut in on her left foot, and she's opened up the full pitch, and she's took her goal well on a special occasion for her.
What will Hearts be thinking now after that performance?
I think they'll be disappointed with their second half performance. They put in so much into the first half, and as I mentioned in commentary, Celtic have the depth in squad at their disposal, to rotate and bring on fresh players. Hearts not so much, and you could see they were fatiguing.
They were fatiguing, and the thing is, like we said, at half-time, they are looking much better. Is 60 goals conceded now?
Yeah, and I think we've mentioned that, haven't we? Obviously, with the first round of games, they conceded a hell of a lot of goals. The third round here have obviously not conceded as many goals, so you can see the work they are doing on the training pitch is starting to pay off, and they'll be looking obviously now to take that forward and try and score some goals.
Leah Tweedy is a Hearts player who's impressing you in the first half. Who, though, was impressing you from both teams in the second half?
The second half for me, Chloe Craig, she was assured in her performance today. She doesn't panic at all, and she's influential going forward, and she obviously opened up the scoring for them today.
And Charlotte Parker-Smith, the Hearts keeper, she was making some good saves today. A bit unfortunate, though, with the second goal.
Yeah, she was. Obviously, she just didn't quite get enough on it, and she's pushed it back into the danger area, and then unfortunate, obviously, for her that Celtic has scored again.
There is a big fixture pile-up now with a lot of midweek games. How do you think both teams are going to cope with this?
For Celtic, as I've mentioned, they've got the depth in their squad. They're able to rotate players. They've got quality, depth. Hearts, they will struggle, I think, especially with the midweek games coming up. They are a part-time team, so they will struggle. And
Celtic, it is still about that pressure, pushing on the top 2 now. They do move into second place, but it's all still to play for.
Yeah, of course it is, and obviously it's a statement that we've said at the beginning of the season that it's been the most competitive season to date, and as I mentioned, you can't write Celtic off, especially for this title challenge.
What about Hearts? How do you think they'll cope next season with 2 teams coming up? Do you think they'll step up now?
Yeah, I think they should. I think they've already started planning for next season. As I've mentioned before, there's no relegation this season, so it's almost they're starting to find their feet in the SWPL 1, and you can see they've improved from the start of the season to now.
Well, it will be interesting to see how that gets on. But we are joined now by Fran Alonso. Fran, another 3 goals, another 3 points. It feels a bit like deja vu from last weekend. You did get the win in the end.
Yeah, it's another great day. Busy schedule, eighth day, 3 games. We haven't conceded a single goal, and you have to be delighted. First half, I thought we lack a little bit intensity. You can see tired legs and mainly tired minds. But I think we were so much better in the second half, much more aggressive, and then we managed to get what we wanted, which is the 3 points. We are not talking about how many goals we can score or anything like that. We won the 3 points, and the clean sheet helps as well. So again, 24 points possible, and we got 22 of them. So I have to be delighted with the group.
What did you say to your players at half-time? Because it's almost, even with your changes, it looked like a different team, more intense team.
Yeah, we weren't. I don't need pretty much to tell them anything. It wasn't good enough. We weren't intense enough. We didn't press aggressive enough, which is normal. Sometimes happen in some games. So I tell them, I want you to imagine you are playing against City, you are playing against Rangers, and I want this aggression and this intensity. And I think, we start to win the ball a little bit higher and then create a lot of chances. We play basically the whole second half was played there in their half. So it's a much better performance. Of course, we gave opportunities to our young players, which they also deserve to start. And it's about how we can manage the squad for the very tough schedule, because now we play against Wednesday and against Sunday and against Wednesday. So it's going to be a very, very tough schedule. So overall, I think it's a very good day for us. And now we can go home and watch what the other teams do.
Yeah. Well, it is great to see the young players step up, but also it was Chloe Craig who stepped up on her 200th appearance for the opening goal. You must be pleased with that.
I am, and it's like a fairy tale that she was able to score the first goal. The most important goal today was the first goal, and she was able to score it. I mean, she's been outstanding all season for many years, but this season, she can play at very high standard as a centre back. She can play full back. She's a leader on and off the field, and we are delighted for her. And it's great that we see these girls, especially in women football. There is a lot of changes with players playing, in 5 years, playing in 5 different teams. And I love to see a player that is, is a representation of a football club. And in the case of Craig, is brilliant for everyone who is at the club. It's a very special week. We got with the men, Scott Brown, kind of a legend, and another legend here, so it's our kind of legend today. So delighted for her and good for her.
Chloe is a Celtic legend here, isn't she? Now, the thing is, there's still that battle at the top of the table. How confident are you going into the end of the season, last 5 games?
You know the answer I'm going to give you.
Don't tell me.
Honestly, I only think about the Spartans. 3 points, very tough team, very aggressive, very dangerous in the counter-attack, with a lot of pace up front. We are going to be in a great pitch. We are going to Lennox Town, so bigger pitch. So hopefully that helps us. But it's the only thing I think about. The next game, 3 points against Spartans, and then we will be able to start to think about the next game. We will be Rangers, but right now it's not important, because if we don't win against Rangers, then it doesn't matter really the next games. So it's about the 3 points, and so far we've been doing great. As I say, 22 points from 24 in this league is very impressive. So I'm delighted. I am very proud of the girls. So I make sure I tell them, because they need to know that.
You did score 5 against Spartans last time. They do seem to have stepped up a little bit, though. What will you change going into that game?
I think the main thing for us is we are able now to have this continuity. In my opinion, our problem this year is the stop, the lockdown, and then come back with only 4 weeks of preparation. I don't know how to prepare a team to be fully fit in 4 weeks. But now I think we are in a better form, and you can see every week we can do better, worse performances, but it's always quite high pressing, high levels of fitness, high levels of aggression. So that's pretty much what is changed. That now we got the competing every week. Well, in this case, competing twice a week, which is great. But this is the only thing that has improved. Being able to play consistently, and also it's easier to manage the squad. You can share more the minutes, so everyone is happier because they get to play. When it's Sunday to Sunday, sometimes some girls don't get any playing minutes in maybe a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, so then it's more difficult to keep them happy.
Well, it's a very intense time, but congratulations on another 3 points today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fran.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Emma, 5 games left of the season now. We still don't really know what way it's going to go.
No, we don't, and I think it's City's title obviously to lose. They're obviously retaining that top spot. I think we all will be looking towards the Old Firm game to see how that goes, and then obviously City's game against Rangers, the final day of the season. And for me, I don't see Glasgow City dropping any more points for this run, and they're too experienced for me. They've been in this position on numerous occasions, so for me I still think it's Glasgow City's to lose.
Well, the top spot is so important, but also so is the second spot, because it's that crucial Champions League spot. Do you think it is going to be a battle between Celtic and Rangers for that then?
Yeah, I think so, and openly Celtic have said it on numerous occasions that they want to play Champions League football, and I'm sure of course Rangers will be also, especially with the investment that they've made into their women's team. They'll be looking for some sort of return in Champions League.
Well, there's another interesting ties across the board every week, but Spartans versus Rangers, which is live on BBC Alba. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, that'll be tough, as obviously Fran has mentioned. Spartans are a physical side, Debbie's been in charge for a long time at Spartans. She knows the league inside out. She prepares her team extremely well, so it will be a tough test for Rangers this evening.
Great, thanks very much, Emma. And thank you very much for joining us at home this afternoon. As we did say there, Spartans versus Rangers is live on BBC Alba. Kick-off is at 4:10, and you can also watch highlights of all 4 of today's games on the BBC Scotland channel at 8:30. And do join us next week. We'll have more live SWPL 1 coverage. But until then, have a very good afternoon.